What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some more Watcher of Realms, and today we're going to do some summons here on the Epics Only account, but before we jump into that, we did get a massive compensation package from the devs recently, which is super duper nice. Very generous. They didn't really have to do that, but they did. Very cool. Do I still have the mail here? I do. So quite a bit of free loot popping up right here. Super duper nice. I'm sure everyone is insanely excited about this, I guess, Prime Legendary thing you get to pick. Super nice, super duper cool. So to start things off, we're going to go ahead and use ours up. I know a lot of people are asking, like, hey, who should I pick? What's the best options? And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I am not the be-all sage of wisdom. So don't trust me on everything I say. Take everything with a grain of salt. The way I'm looking at this is just from a logical perspective. You get this free pick one like once in your life, right? Probably not going to see this happen ever again. So pick the rarest heroes, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, why would you not pick someone that is super hard to get when you can pick someone you might just summon out of a regular summon willy-nilly? So I would say the obvious choice here for most people is going to be a Legendary Lord hero. Of the Legendary Lord heroes, if I had to be put on the spot and say, you know, pick your top three, it would be Araka, Toreador, and Morrigan. Those are the three that I would definitely say are my top picks if I had to pick a Legendary Lord hero from these deals. The two I would say don't pick, probably King Hars and Venoma. Not because I think they're terrible heroes or anything, it's just I feel like the other three are just such stronger options that those just don't make sense to grab. So that's just me. That's how I would look at it. I would not recommend grabbing a regular legendary hero here. Yes, they're all really good heroes, but they're much, much easier to pull than a Lord hero is. And I think long term, even if you grab out that Silas, that Hex, Viera, whoever it is, eventually you're going to regret, like, man, I really wish I had my Morrigan to go with my Viera that I grabbed, because Morrigan's going to be super awesome for that. Or, you know, I really wish I would have grabbed my Toreador to make my Twyla better, but, you know, whatever, it is what it is. So that's how I'm looking at it. Probably pick a Legendary Lord hero. If you're going to grab a regular ledge, I would say probably Ajax. I know that's a weird say, but the thing is, he's incredibly versatile. He can be used underneath any Lord hero, which is super cool. AoE magic damage, and I mean, to be fair, he just looks like the coolest hero in the game. And so here on the Epic account, where it doesn't matter who we pick because we can't use any of them, we're definitely picking out Ajax just because he looks the coolest, and that's, you know, that's why I'm going for him here. We'll never actually be able to use him, but we can look at him, and that's really what matters. So we're going to snag this bro out. I know he's not a Lord hero and breaks every rule I just said, but we break rules, is what we do. Let's go ahead and snag out big bro here, because he looks super awesome. These stupid bars are back. They're driving me up a freaking tree. I don't know why they're there, but they are. Oh, dude, he's so freaking cool looking. What a cool intro, too. You know what this game needs? More dragon heroes. You know? We've got freaking mer people, we've got lizard people, we've got werewolf people, we've got elf people, we've got dwarf people, we've got regular people. We have like 2 dragons. Like, every single nerd in the world loves dragons, okay? And I am no different. Okay, I love me some dragons. Why not have more dragon heroes? They're freaking sick. I know there's a dude on his back, like that's who I guess it's supposed to be. But let's be honest, everyone looks at the dragon and says that's who this hero is. So super cool. Snag this guy out. Never actually use him, but we'll definitely look at him. Look at all them eyeballs. Almost kind of creepy. There we go. Boop, Ajax. Nice. Super duper rare hero. Love him. Got him. And now we're going to move into summons. And so I know I just said this is an epic only account, right? But hear me out here. We are like 20 summons away from a pity timer in a legendary hero. Now, I know we don't use legendary heroes to actually like fight, but we can use them for food. So I could easily disassemble those to get some awakening shards. Because of that, I think I'm going to start pulling here in the 1+1 just to guarantee that I actually do grab out 2 legendary heroes in the next couple of summons. After that, we'll jump over and probably just do the regular ones here. I'm not too terribly excited about Scorch or Azoth, but getting OLAG copies would be great, plus any other epics we snag out. I'm probably going to limit today to 200 summons, just because the epic heroes, only one of them is one I really would like. I'd like to save up some of my diamonds for an event maybe with better epic heroes on offer, so I can kind of target farm maybe some of the ones I want to awaken. So that said, don't let me forget. If I forget, I'll cry. I need to grab out my weekly summon reward after I summon. I forget this every single summoning event. Today, we're not doing that. So we're going to go ahead and drop. I think we'll probably hit it within like the next 20 summons. I'm assuming we're really, really close. So it won't take long, and we should grab out, he said, getting all blues. But we should grab out our double legendary pretty quick. I'm assuming it'd be actually in this one right here. It may take one more. No. Okay, so we got it. Nice. So we hit the pity really, really quick. If you don't know how to calculate your pity, it's incredibly easy. You just go back in time and you look at all the heroes that you've summoned. So Seraphina, I actually grabbed this one out, I think. I want to say that was my free legendary that I pulled. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was on my other account. The one they just gave you for free. I'd put her as like a very mid hero. Oh, good lord, look at them jiggles. That's crazy. Mer person, well, kind of a snake person, I guess. Not a dragon, so I'm sad. But boom, snag our second one out. Look at that, it's Magda. Actually a really solid AoE magic damage fighter. Pretty good unit. Can definitely help in like Gear Raid 1 and stuff. So really, really cool. If you have her, super awesome. Penetration increase. Never a bad thing, right? But also damage increase. Really good. Buffs people, does good damage. Pretty solid overall hero. It looks like her ult would hit air units, but I guess it doesn't. That makes me a little bit sad in my heart. Either way, solid unit, kind of cool. Obviously, we can't use her, but we can sell her. But there we go. Got our double legendary pull. Really what I was going for here. And then now, before I forget with my brain hole, because I will, let's grab out, restart this so I can grab both of those loots all at once and get this again. I forget this like literally almost every time I do summons, and it drives me up a tree because obviously then I have to wait like a whole nother week to start over my weekly quest again. So there we go. We snagged that out. Let's jump back into the summons. And we're going to move over here. And this will give us, wait, we did 20 already, right? So we only need to do 2 10 pulls with diamonds, and we'll be at the 200 mark. So let's just go ahead, start dropping 10 pieces, and hopefully snag out some good units. Already getting some purples, love to see that. Hopefully they will be not Scorches. They'll be Azoths instead. Kind of expected him to pop up a little bit here. Haven't gotten one yet on the account. He's not a terrible hero, I don't think. I just think his outright damage potential is probably a little less than some other epics are going to be. Like Imani, I think, would probably hit much harder than this guy. But to quickly go over what he's all about, he does burning damage every time he crits. So obviously you want to build this guy with critical damage or crit chance. But you really want his attack to be high as well, since burning does scale off of your base stats. The higher your base attack, the more your burning damage is going to do over time, which is nice. His ult, once he gets awakened, it gets much better because it kind of limits him to 10 critical strikes before it kind of stops critting. But he does get a massive critical damage boost, 120%. That's pretty big. Also, his crit rate goes up by a lot. The downside to it being crit damage increase is it's not going to increase the damage of the burning. So that's why I think you should build this guy with as much attack as possible to really maximize his burns, and then let the crit damage that he gets from his ult just help him with his initial attacks. The nice thing here too is, I want to say, is it one of his awakens? Yes. His first awaken restores 10% rage for every 3 crits landed. So when you build this guy for a crazy amount of crit, he's going to pretty much infinitely chain an ultimate skill back to back to back to back, which is really nice. You can keep this guy literally just burning people forever. I would say probably he has some use in the Immortal Codex against that boss that you have to burn. But overall, not terrible. His 5th Awaken does give him like a bit of an AoE as well, because anytime that he crits in his ultimate, he inflicts burning on the adjacent enemies. Since he's pretty much constantly ulting, he just burns everyone around pretty much. So, solid. Not a great epic in my opinion, but definitely someone we might actually end up building on this account because, you know, it's epics only. We may end up needing one of those heroes. Looks like we grabbed another epic already. Love to see that. Love to see it. Who's it gonna be? Maybe an Olag? It is an, holy crap, a double Olag? Well, I mean, Gabe, you shouldn't have. Absolutely freak beast of an epic tank. Everybody knows about Olag by now. Absolute monster of a hero. He just holds the line. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. He stands there, people punch him, he laughs about it, he doesn't die. That's what you want from a good tank, and we just grabbed 2 of those in a single 10 bomb. That is freaking nuts. Didn't expect it, but I'll absolutely take it. That's super great. I don't know if we have ours awakened at all yet. This is going to be all blue, so I can just double click this one, give it the quick flip, boop, 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 boop. Get some points for the event out of these, plus also I can sell these dudes off to get some of my diamonds back, although I'm only going to be using like 1,900 diamonds this time anyways. We'll have plenty left over. Let's go ahead and drop another 10 piece. Keep hunting down those purple drops, just like that. Bam, there we go. Another Azoth. So I guess we could, depending on how many of these get, we could awaken him all the way up. Because like before he's awakened 5 times, I would say he's pretty meh. After being awakened 5 times, obviously be a much stronger hero. But I guess that's probably true for pretty much every hero in the game. Go ahead and keep rolling out our 10 bombs here. Got quite a few to get through today. Because I think we're actually going to summon more over here than we did on the main account. Because we got both the banner heroes so quickly, which never happens. But I was like, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and call it a day. Don't want to burn too many resources, you know? Here we go. More blues. Give it the old quick flip. Ooh, a lot of blues. That's nice. Diamonds. Give me those diamonds. But I don't know. So far, I don't think we've gotten a single epic that was not part of the bonus epics. We did pull 2 Olags and 1 pull, though, so I can't be too upset about that. There we go. I've actually never pulled this hero before. This is the first time I've actually gotten her on any account. She seems a little bit interesting. I might end up building her. Now, this guy I have pulled before. I've never built him. He also seems interesting. We'll have to take a peek at both of these dudes because they're both new to this account, but they're also, this one's new to me entirely. She is like one of the only heroes in the game, or one of the few heroes in the game, where her damage scales off of her defense. Kind of interesting. But she also has a chance to heal herself with her basic attack. So for a tank, that's actually really nice. Self-healing, damage scaling off defense. A tank's gonna, you want to have high defense on most of your tanks anyways, because it makes them, you know, obviously much more tanky. So this one could be an interesting one where you actually want to prioritize a defense % main stat on your accessories over HP. Definitely someone I'm keeping an eye on here. What else she's got? Her ultimate, gonna increase her max HP and defense by 15%. That goes up obviously to 25%. Not bad. Pretty low cost as well, so she gets that relatively quickly. That's just going to boost her damage and obviously her survivability. Not a bad deal. Oh, look at that. She has a little AoE attack every 8 seconds. I guess we'll take it. Does a decent amount of damage since her damage scales off defense. That actually might end up doing something, but damage reduction is actually pretty nice. This can be useful in a lot of situations. Stopping people from hitting you as hard is always a good thing, especially for a tank, because those are the people probably going to be hitting them anyways. That could be actually pretty solid. Not sure about the awakens on this lady. We'll give it a quick look over here. Damage reduction. Oh, wow. The duration increases by 4 seconds, so instead of 4 seconds, it's an 8-second damage reduction. So pretty much a constant uptime on damage reduction. That's pretty cool. Can't really argue with that. A flat defense boost, why not? During the ultimate, reduces your damage taken by 20%. That's obviously really great for a tank. That's just flat damage reduction. Never a bad deal. Another flat defense boost. Since her damage scales off defense, can't really argue with that. When her talent is triggered, she gains 15% defense increase for 5 seconds. So anytime she heals herself with her talent, she's also going to boost her defense, which increases her damage and obviously her survivability as well. Honestly, looks like a pretty solid tank. I'm not sure how often we'll be able to awaken her, being that this is the first one I've ever pulled in all of my summons. But she's a potential build. That's interesting. And she's Nightmare faction. I've got a lot of Nightmare stuff going on, so that's good. Boro. Kind of interesting dude here. Specialized attack speed, so anytime you boost his attack speed, he gets like a bigger boost out of attack speed than most heroes do, which is nice. But I'm not really sure how great it's going to end up being based on how his ult works. Regular attack, just kind of normal, but it has a 15% chance to land 2 hits, so kind of like how Estrid works, but a lower probability. But his ult boosts his attack speed by a freaking buttload. 800, right? That's huge. That's more than I think you can actually get on a hero with all gear aimed at attack speed. That's probably higher than what you're ever going to see. But it also increases by 100 every time he attacks, up to 1400. So it ends up lasting for like 15 seconds. The skill cost gets dropped down to 900. But essentially this guy's going to attack like just constantly. I can see this being really, really useful in the Immortal Codex on that boss that requires a certain number of strikes to break his shield. This is huge for that. Absolutely massive. But could be fairly decent damage just against single target units. So we might end up building this guy up and trying him against bosses and seeing how he works. But also, his little passive here, anytime he takes damage, he has a chance to whirlwind and hit AoE damage to everyone around him. He also reduces AoE damage that he takes by 5%. This does get upgraded, I believe, to 25% AoE damage reduction, which is pretty solid. Just knocking off a quarter of the damage you would take, never a bad deal. The AoE damage, I think, goes up to 100%. So also pretty nice to have a little AoE damage when you get attacked, but Not sure how great that actually in practice is going to be. You usually don't want your fighters getting absolutely hammered by damage because they'll die. But is what it is. So his first awaken, it boosts his chance to trigger a Whirlwind Slash. Not a bad deal, I guess. The more of those you pop, better damage. Or a percent base attack increase for his second awaken, not bad. He does have one of the highest attack stats in the epic category. I believe the only person with higher attack than Voroth is Estrid, and they're both in the Northerner faction, so that's kind of nice. When he triggers Whirlwind Slash, he heals 5% health. That's great. Little self-sustain, never a bad deal. A 10% HP boost, I guess that's to help him kind of survive all the damage he's going to be taking if you're trying to proc those Whirlwinds. And then finally, anytime he's shielded, he doubles the chance of triggering a basic attack or a Whirlwind Slash. So if you are building a Northerner team, your Northerner Lord is going to pop shields on you periodically anyways. Vortex is a Northerner healer that overheals and gives shields, so that's also a possibility. There's also artifacts that when you overheal a hero, have the chance to spawn a shield. So lots of different ways of giving him a shield just to proc this, but overall, pretty solid. Could be a solid damage dealer. We'll keep an eye on this guy just because we already have Estrid built up. She's already a Northerner. May as well build him too, maybe. Here we go. More epics. Love to see the epics dropping. Kina. So I do have Kina, and I might actually end up using her in the Void Rift. I've probably talked about her before, but we'll talk about her again real fast. She doesn't crit. She's like one of the, I think she's the only hero in the game that cannot do crits at all. It never happens. Instead, she has a chance to deal extra true damage equal to 50% of her attack. So true damage is damage that's not resisted. It's the defense, magic defense, doesn't matter. And this is really nice for the petrification boss in the Guild Rift, or the Void Rift. Because when he petrifies those units, it's an absolute nightmare to try to kill them. If you don't have like an execute skill like on Viera, it's really annoying to deal with petrified units. They just have so much defense and resistance, you just can't bring them down. She can actually kind of go through that and just kind of nuke them relatively quickly, so kind of nice. Her ultimate rapidly attacks, so it's kind of like a Navros ult where it just kind of shoots the same person over and over again. At the end, it stuns her, but her first awaken gets rid of that, so it's no longer a thing once you've awakened her once, which is nice. Oops, get back in here. This one's kind of weird. She boosts her attack by 20%, but when there's more than one enemy in range, every additional enemy reduces that increase down to 15%. So you can get this to go as high as 20%, and so as long as she's fighting, an enemy or two enemies, that's a pretty big attack boost. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, but as more enemies pile up, that gets reduced down. Still, even at the bottom effect, 15% extra attack isn't a bad deal, especially when you're dealing true damage. She's one of the only heroes, especially in the epic category, with true damage, which is nice. So looking through her awakens, you already looked at the first one, a 5% attack boost, not a bad deal. During her ultimate, she attacks faster. That's great. 30% increase essentially in her attack speed, which is really good. Can't really hurt that. Rage regen auto, get her skills back a little bit quicker. Never a bad deal. And the last one here, every time she does 5 instance of damage, they're going to receive 1 extra true damage equal to 100% of her attack. So not just like her talent, it's also going to, be a full attack boost, not 50%. Pretty solid. That true damage can very much be interesting. We might be having to make use of her in the Elite Void Rift against the Lasir boss, because, God, that's annoying. So I think we already got one, though. So this is like we already have Awaken 1, which is great. Without Awaken 1, I wouldn't recommend using her. Getting stunned after your ultimate is just sucks, right? It's just not good. So let's keep going here. Drop a couple more 10 bombs. Still got 80 of these summon crystals to go. Another purple, I will absolutely take it. And then we'll jump in and knock down our... Ooh, nice. And then we'll use our a couple pulls of diamond. Good lord, we're getting all kinds of epics in this pool. That's crazy. All right, so Navros, we all know about Navros. Okay, Navros, very, very solid. Probably the best early to mid-game mage since you can fuse him. Super, super useful. I use him pretty much everywhere, still use him. Really good guy. We've already got ours Awaken 5, though, so we will just end up selling this guy off for some Awaken mats, which is great. We need those to buy auto fight chances and stuff. Brienne. Brienne is nice. Brienne's kind of like, I guess the closest thing I could relate her to is like a budget Hatsit. She does have a nice little ultimate, doesn't last very long, but it attacks everyone in range, I guess 5 enemies in range, whatever, for quite a bit of AoE damage. So she's really handy in Gear Raid 3. Being able to clear one of those sides with her ultimate is super duper nice. Just overall, really great. Prioritizes airborne units, kind of makes sense. They also take an extra hit. So she's really extra strong at dealing with airborne targets because she double attacks them, which is great. In her last passive here, every 8 seconds her arrow splits and it hits other enemies. This is great. Airborne units taking extra damage. So she really specializes in attacking airborne units. It makes sense. She is a marksman. But she's part of the Piercer and the Watcher faction, so she can use her in quite a few spots, which is great. But just the AoE alone on the ult, really, really nice. Super great. Low cost for an AoE unit, kind of like Hatsit, only costs 12, but a super strong one. This is your budget Hatsit right here. If you didn't get Hatsit in the pools and you got a Brienne, you can build her. She's really strong. Like her. Let's go ahead and check out these. During her multi-shots, when she's popping that ult, she gains 30% physical penetration. That's great. That's ignoring defense. That's fantastic, especially on an epic hero. They tend to have a little bit lower of attack stats, so going through defense is really, really big. That's nice. 5% attack boost, never go wrong there. Her split shots do more damage. It's also nice. A little extra damage never hurts. 5% crit rate just makes it a little bit easier to hit that 100% cap. And then her split shot hits one more person. So overall, I would say definitely a nice unit. Very specialized in dealing with airborne units, but even attacking ground-based units, that ultimate can absolutely mow people down. Titus, not going to spend too much time on Titus. I'm going to put Titus in, like, F-tier hero. Like, straight up, bottom of the barrel, this guy is dookie butt. Is absolute garbo. He can't be healed, right? That's pretty annoying already in itself. Not being able to be healed as a tank pretty much means you're a set one time, you're going to die, and I've got to replace you, right? And replace you with someone that's not you. So he does kind of heal himself a little bit every time he procs his little thermal barrier, but I don't know. I just feel like it's so much easier to have almost any other tank down. You can just actually heal. You know, that would be really, really nice. But he does boost his attack range and stuff. His ultimate does heal him, kind of, so I guess you can kind of keep him alive with himself. But either way, I just feel like this guy is, you know, I'm going to say it. He's just dookie. He's just absolutely dookie. He does heal himself, so he does have a comeback from death. So maybe, okay, maybe we could use this guy in, like, Gear Raid 2 as kind of like another Baron or another Decimus, as someone who dies and kind of sits there. I'm not sure if when he's in self-repair, if he still has block on him, or if people start walking through him. That would be a big deal breaker if you could walk through him, but the biggest deal breaker, in my opinion, for as weird as his kit is his cost. 31 cost to drop this, bro. That is like the most expensive hero in the game. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm just really bad at theory crafting, but this guy just does not seem to be it at all. He has damage reduction, but like I said, you just can't heal him. You can't heal the bro. He heals himself a little bit, which is okay, but I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I feel like this guy is probably one of the worst epics in the game. Probably one of the worst heroes in the game. I think I'd rather use like a Rex as my tank than Titus. But again, that could just be me being stupid. Maybe he's fantastic. I just don't see it. But potential cheese method for Gear Raid 2. I'll have to test out and see exactly how that self-repair works. If he still blocks units or if they walk through him when he's down. So continue on. Drop another 10 piece. Spent quite a bit of time on that one. But oh, look at that. More purples. Yay. I'll take it. Never bad to get more purples. An Assault, very specific hero here. You almost never see this person used outside of the Immortal Codex, and that is because it's a weird hero. Okay, so it takes like 15 seconds when you get this person. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 rounds every 10 seconds, right, to start attacking. So before this person even does a single bit of damage, Bro's got to sit there for 10 seconds and make potions. Right, I don't know why he didn't make potions before he showed up to battle. Guy didn't think about it. So he takes 10 seconds to start attacking, but he does have a lot of different damage over times. And that's really what he's used for in the Immortal Codex, is there's one boss in specifically that requires you to do continuous damage, and burning and poison are both continuous damages. Plus he has his own little special thing. When you burn and poison someone, there's a toxic fire, which is fairly strong. Now, I've seen people's damage in the Immortal Codex with this guy be really, really high. I'm not sure if that's just because it's the Immortal Codex, but I've literally never seen this guy used anywhere else. But pretty much his only use, we're not going to build him, where he's going to be definitely in the back burner for a long time, if we ever even get to him. So Pretty much one-use hero, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can use him in other areas and he's still strong. I just don't see it. We have to wait 10 seconds to throw out 3 vials. I don't know. I feel like you're taking a little bit too long to get the attacks out there, bro. There we go. 10 bomb. A little bit of bluage, a little bit of greenage. Actually, a lot of bit of greenage. But whatever. Is what it is. Keep going again. Looks like another blue pull. We'll take it. Flip all those suckers over. We're getting fairly close. We got what? This and then like 50 more summons. So I've got another purple. I wonder if we'll actually hit another legendary hero on this one. Because we're not going to pull another 200 summons. We went 20 summons to start with. And then we're only going to do, I guess, 180 on this banner. So maybe we just go straight to 200 to guarantee a legendary pull. Just because we're already close. But I can probably also save that. Or maybe another 1+1. Imani here. Interesting hero. I might end up having to use her as like a nuke. Because that's kind of, it seems, what she's all about. When you deploy her, her first attack boosts her attack by 20%. That's already a pretty big boost. Just right off rip. Only lasts for 10 seconds, but it's not bad. Her ultimate, once you've skilled her up, actually comes in really quickly. I think she has like only 100 rage to gain before she can pop her ultimate. And it lasts for like 30 seconds or so, which is great. But it boosts her attack speed, boosts her damage dealt. When this overload ends, one of her awakens actually removes this, so she no longer gets decreased attack speed or decreased damage dealt. So that's something you don't got to worry about too much unless she's just not awakened yet. She seems to be a fairly common drop, though, so you'll probably have extra copies laying around. But also when she's deployed, she boosts her attack, crit rate, and crit damage. This is going to be a 20% attack boost, 25% crit rate, and 30% crit damage for 25 seconds. So essentially, you throw her down, she gets her ult, you pop her ult, and she just goes absolutely ham, nuking the balls out of everybody in the area. This damage dealt, I think, goes up to 300%. That's a huge amount of damage increase. That is massive. That is freaking crazy. But yeah, her first awakening gets rid of that weakening effect, which is great. Crit damage plus 10%, never a bad thing. Redeployment time, minus 25 seconds. Third awaken definitely makes her really nice. I can see her being useful in Gear Raid 2, especially in 19. Where you have to kind of cycle out your heroes because of that golem shriek that just murks your whole team. Being able to pick her up, put her back down in 35 seconds instead of a whole minute, definitely very nice. Plus she nukes really hard when you put her down to clear those waves pretty quickly. 8% bonus to all damage, never going to be a bad thing. And then anytime she attacks the same unit 6 times, it boosts the next damage attack by 100%. So really, really solid drop, nuke, pick up, drop, nuke, pick up kind of unit. We may end up building her, like I said, just for Gear Raid 219, but she probably has uses in other places too, just to drop her and do a lot of damage all at once. Let's keep rolling. Another 10 bomb coming out. Looking like some more perpskis. I'll take it. I'll take it. We only grabbed 2 Olags so far, but I'm not sure. Here I am talking about Olags. We snag out a 3rd Olag. I don't know if I've got mine awakened or not. But either way, we definitely have an awakened 3 Olag at least right now, and that's fantastic. Super great news. Let's go ahead and drop another 10 piece here. And then I guess let's just go to the pity. We'll go until we hit a legendary, and then we'll stop after that because, you know, we're going to be pretty close. There's Scorch. We got her. I see Medan and swap Scorch to a lady. Of course, you never know. It doesn't tell you. This could be a lady. You don't know if lizard people have boobs. They do. They do in this game. But we got a Scorch. We already got one of those guys, so we got an awaken on him. Medan, I think I've got her awakened either once or twice. So I'd love to get her, obviously, all the way awakened. Never going to be a bad deal. Super, super awesome epic healer. Probably one of the better ones, in my opinion. Since I can't be using things like Elowen and stuff for my cleanse, this is going to be one of my heroes that gets rid of debuffs on my team for Guild Boss 2, cleansing off that poison. Very, very important. You could also use Nasandi for that. She also has a cleanse now. She got buffed recently. But nice, has AoE heals, HP-based healing, so you can build her incredibly tanky, make her very hard to kill. And that's really, really handy for the Gear Raid 2, because you need tanky healers. If you don't have them, they get absolutely smooshed by that earthquake, and it's just bad time for you. So really, really nice. Probably, like I said, one of the most useful epic healers in the game. Could be one of the most useful healers in all the game. But also she applies defense increase to targets that she heals. And she heals multiple people at a time. So essentially you're just going to have a 20% defense increase full time on most of your people on the map. So really, really solid. Definitely a good healer. Always good to pick one of those up. Scorch, haven't built one yet, but I may end up finding some use for him in like Gear Raid 1, since he does do magical damage and AoE. Pretty rare for an epic fighter to have magical attack that also hits multiple units. So potential build, but not super high on the to-do list. Go ahead and drop ourselves another 10 piece here, see what we get. Looks like we're going to get some purples. Gotta love the purples. And it's going to be another as. Oh, what the freaking crap, bro? Are you kidding me? Okay, that's awesome. Okay, Estrid, you know how I feel about Estrid, okay? She's a freak beast. She's a monster. Probably like one of the best AoE damaging epics that there is. She is a freaking beast. We've already talked about Azoth. Haven't talked about whatever her name is. She's nice, okay? She drops little crystal bombs. They freeze people. It's great. She's very nice little crowd control. You can use her in Guild Boss too if you're in a pinch for some extra crowd control to stop that Saw phase from absolutely rinsing your team. But not going to focus too much on her because we got Estrid. Yay! I've already got my Estrid to Awaken 3. I actually did that with Soul Stones like not that long ago. A few days, maybe a week ago, to buff her up. So I get these last 2 Awakens, which are absolutely massive, a cheaper cost to drop her, but also a boosted rage regen against penetrated enemies. This means she's going to get her ult back even faster, and her ultimate is absolutely monstrous after Awaken 3. That double chop on her ultimate just absolutely mows people down. So that is like the coolest freaking double drop of a hero I've seen. That's super awesome. So glad to have this. If you don't know about Estrid, you're sleeping on her. Honestly, I debated building her on my main account to replace like Abomination, just because she does so good of AoE damage. But yeah, super nice. Has a chance to attack twice in a row, which is great. She can really chain those basic attacks together. When she does that, she fills her ult up much, much faster. Her ult boosts your attack speed, has a 280% damage multiplier on it, which is crazy, and it lasts for 20 seconds. So she sits there and just like mows the lawn for 20 seconds. Once you awaken her 3 times, that little mowing attack can also trigger twice, and she can sit there and just like weed eat, man, just goes nuts, mowing people down super quick. But on top of all of that, she also has a 30% chance to reduce defense by 30% when that skill's all the way up. So not only is she absolutely mowing people down, she's also reducing their defense so they take even more damage. Not to mention, she also has the highest epic attack stat, 5,162. The next closest is Voroth, and I want to say he's at like 5,117 or something. And they're both the tippy top of the damage in epic. So super duper awesome hero. If you've got one of these and haven't built her, you're sleeping on her, okay? She's absolutely amazing. Definitely do it. Already talked about this guy. Briefly touched on this chick. Like I said, she's not bad. You can definitely use her in a lot of situations. She slows down enemies with these little traps she lays on the ground. I like her. She's kind of slow to get off the ground, I guess. You really have to invest in attack speed on her because she has a 5-second attack interval, which really blows. But when she gets that attack speed up to about 500, that goes down to 2.5 seconds, and it's much easier, obviously, to start getting her crystal bombs out. The downside is, even though she attacks faster, it still takes time for crystal bombs to grow into a bomb, which kind of sucks, unless she has her ult going on, which is an automatic ult, and then she summons crystal bombs immediately, which is great, because she can enhance the living crap out of them, and when they're fully enhanced, they do quite a bit of damage. And once she's awakened, I think 3 times, those crystal bomb explosions affect additional targets, so she actually gets an AoE freeze kind of going on as well, which is nice. Very, very nice for crowd control. I think I've got one already, not sure if I've gotten her awakened yet, but always glad to glab, you know what I'm saying? Glad to grab another copy of those. Let's go ahead and drop our diamonds here until we hit that pity timer, and then we'll probably call it after that. So here we go, we got our purple. We got to be getting fairly close. Another freaking Olag. I mean, come on, game. This guy's going to be like Awaken 5 after this event, which is freaking nuts. Happy to see that. So let's go ahead and drop this. Probably going to be the last 10 bomb. I'm assuming we're right here at Pity. And indeed we are. Boop. There we go. Not sure who we're going to get. We'll probably grab like a Hatsit or something because it'll just make me sad. Ooh, an Edril copy. I'll take that. Is this... Who is it? That's Silas? I don't know. I've never watched this video, so I'm not sure who this actually is. It looks like Silas, which kind of stinks because or maybe it's Viera, because they're both friends. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's Viera I'm snagging out here. Okay, it's looking like maybe it's Viera and it's not Silas. Eh? It is. Okay, there we go. Little skeleton hand holding some balls. Definitely got to get a boob shot in there. If you don't get a boob shot, it's not a new hero. But there we go. Viera, kind of a lucky pull. Kind of sucks that I'm not going to be able to use her on this account because she is an absolute monster for AoE damage. And like I said, she does have that little execute skill, which is really, really nice. But we've hit our pity. We still have like 100 summons we could do. We're not going to. An Edril copy. Very happy to see that getting her awakened. Probably one of your better single target damage dealers for the Epic Marksman. She attacks multiple times, which is great. Her ultimate also attacks an extra time, so she fires 3 consecutive shots instead of 1 or 2, which is fantastic. So Infernal Roar, really good on Edril because it boosts her basic attack, and everything she does is a basic attack bit. Also, anytime someone casts an ultimate, her next attack deals bonus damage, and airborne units take more damage too. So really, really nice when you're popping ults around the map. If you have her ult going at the same time, she's going to start nuking people all over the place because she'll be getting constant damage buff procs. Really, 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 really solid Epic Marksman. If you don't have one, you need one. If you do have one, you've got one. There you go. Viera, we'll talk about her a little bit. Obviously, on this account, I'm not going to be able to use her, but really, really nice unit here. Every attack she does puts Mortal Kiss on the enemy. And this is essentially like a stronger version of Burning, but it can't be dispelled. It never goes away. It just constantly ticks. And that's great. It does a lot of damage. It definitely adds up, especially in areas like Gear Raid 1, where you have swarms of enemies coming in. This is nasty. One thing to pay attention to on Viera, though, attack speed bonuses do not affect her basic attack. So you do not ever build attack speed on Viera. This is why the quick option is very scary to use, because it might build Viera and say, ooh, attack speed's really great, and pump her with 400 attack speed, and all those stats are wasted. So make sure you're not doing that. You definitely want to build her with really, really high attack, as high attack as you can get her, and then crit and crit damage are obviously nice choices to follow that up with. But yeah, don't do attack speed. You don't want it. Her ultimate is an execute ability, but it's also an incredibly damaging ability. It does 900% AoE damage when it's fully upgraded to all the enemies in range. Very, very crazy. And the execute is actually a 35% health. Any enemy with 35% or below health, it just kills them after a short delay. Really, really nice for Gear Raid 1. Especially that boss's healing effect is super duper annoying. This can kind of help you cheese around it, because you can just instantly kill those monsters that are kind of weak. Really, 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 really solid. The soul extraction here, anytime she kills an enemy, she absorbs a soul. You can boost this capacity up, obviously, here. But every soul absorb boosts her attack, and when there's at least 2 enemy targets in range, it's going to add her. It's going to let her attack an extra person with her basic attack. Super nice, never a bad thing. I assume they go away over time. I think it consumes a soul, but if it doesn't, it does consume a soul. So they don't stack up forever and ever. I think her exclusive artifact stops soul extraction from consuming souls, which is really, really strong. Because she's going to have a massive attack boost at all times and be attacking tons of people at once. So her exclusive artifact is like a super duper good one. But yeah, solid. And then you've got this last one here. I'm not 100% sure on how this works. I mean, I can read it with my brain and my eyes, but the Bone Shield says that it does magic damage to both the bearer and surrounding enemies. So I'm not sure if when she pops this on an ally in range, if she's actually damaging your ally. I think it might be the truth. I've never really paid too much attention to it. It's never been an issue where people are like dying from it on my team. But it's a thing. It does a little extra damage around that unit as well, which is great. Never a bad deal. But I think is it this? Yes. Okay, so when you get Silas as well, Bone Shield restores HP equal to 10% attack per second. So essentially, this counteracts the damage they receive when you get Silas. But really, 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 really strong AoE damage mage. Super duper good. Her Awakens also pretty strong. Mortal Kiss, reducing magic resistance, never a bad thing. That's just going to make them take more magical damage. She does magic damage. It's good. Flat attack boost, not a bad deal. When her ultimate kills an enemy with Mortal Kiss, it deals magic damage to all the other enemies around it. That's also enormous for a massive damage boost, just instant burst damage like crazy, especially like in Gear Raid 1 where there's hordes of enemies all affected with Mortal Kiss. That is going to do a freakish amount of damage. Her cost going down by 2, never a bad thing, get her out a little bit faster. And then her final deal, her Bone Shield deals double damage to enemy with Mortal Kiss, which is pretty much everybody that's in range of her is going to have that, so pretty solid. Really, really good hero. Awesome to pull her. Obviously can't use her. A little bit sad about that, but if you've got one of these chicks, absolutely goes on your build list. She's really, really solid. So there we go. I think that's going to be all the summons we dropped today. We got a bunch of heroes in the backup summon now, but let's go ahead and grab out all of our loot. 4 more summon crystals. Yay! We do have quite a few blues, though, probably be able to sell, get some of those diamonds refunded back to us. But overall, really, really solid event. We even got an achievement, I think, for the pulling legendary heroes. Yep, 200 more diamonds. I'll absolutely take that, snag that sucker out. Get me back kind of in the range of where I want to be. Arrival of Heroes, got some loot snag out over here as well. Go ahead and pick those up. Nice, I'll take it. We are not even close to the top. People really going ham on this event in my bracket, which is crazy. But yeah, I'm not going to write that too much. Tons of copies today. Where's our OLAG at? He hasn't been awakened. So we got an awakened... Oops. Check. Awakened 4 OLAG. Super duper nice. Got that coming in. Going to have a maxed out Estrid, which is freaking crazy. Idril going to go up as well. Just honestly... really, really solid summons for the epics today. Feeling really good about it. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button and show your support. And I will see you guys in the next one.